All right, now we're going to talk about blocks. Blocks are the main way that WordPress works. That's how you're going to add content, add your images, layout, figure out how it's all going to work is using blocks. So this is how you can make a website without coding. So the blocks are located in the actual pages. So why don't we go to a page? Go to page 1. So as you can see, it's completely blank. There's nothing in here. I want to start adding some blocks. So the way to do that is you add the block inserter, and this gives you a whole menu of all the different blocks, all the different things you can add. The most common thing to add would be a paragraph. So now I have added a paragraph right here. So I'm going to just type some words, If I wanted to go to, if I press the enter button, what's going to happen, enter key, is I'm going to end up with a new block. But say I want to go back into that old block and I want to just make another line. I do shift enter for another line. So now I have these two blocks made. If I want to actually see them, a really good way to organize and understand how your blocks are lined up is to go over here. You press this, and this shows you how where all the different blocks are. Say I want to add, you can also add blocks from here. Say I want to add an image. Okay, so what I can do is I can upload an image that I have stored somewhere on my computer. Let's just put Melon Head just to give you it. Right, so this is now my image. I'm putting him right there. And now that I have this image, I can do different things with it. I can edit it. I can make it smaller. I can make it bigger. All sorts of things I can do. Shrink it up. My block editor right there. So now I have an image block and I have a paragraph block. So if I want to further edit, I go over to here where it says settings. So each block has its own settings depending upon what you want to do with your block. You can change the line height, the letter case, letter spacing. You notice I cannot change my font. That's a different thing. That's in the template. This is just putting the content in, to format it and to figure out what it's actually going to look like. You can do it some here, but for the most part, you're going to do it through the templates. So if I go over to, I'm now on the image. Now, as you can see over here, my settings are different because I am editing this block. Each block has its own settings. I can change the size, et cetera, et cetera. You do want to start off, the best practice would be to start off with your image the size that you want. So that way you can always put them 100%. You'll have more control over them if you control them before you put them in, but you can do it any way you want. So now I am, figuring out, we'll go over the page before. So these are my different blocks. That's what I'm doing over here, and that's how they are organized. And there's all different kinds of blocks. If I go for the editor also, if I go over here to the far where it says options, right now I have the toolbar over here because there's also a toolbar that you can put in here. So if I go over to here and I want to change this, I can do different things with it. I can align my text. I can make things bold. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. So it's good practice to go and move that, check that off. So the toolbar is now up here. So no matter what block I'm working at, my toolbar is always up here for me to be able to use. I can crop, all different things you can do. So when you have a block, there are two ways you can change it around. You can actually go over here into the settings, or you can go right up here and kind of play around with your different options in this bar. So this bar and this bar will edit any of the blocks that you decide to choose. And there are all different kinds of blocks. As you can see, there are lists. You can make lists with indents. You can make a table. Those are just for your copy, for your words. You can put a gallery in that you flip through pictures. You can add anything that you think that you might want. The cover one will go into a different video. You can actually, because you actually can layer words on top of that. All different things. But we're going over all this at different times. These are all the different blocks. That's the basic way that this will be working for you.